Alright, Shalom Akah. I want to give all praises to Apanawa, Yahweh Allahayaka, Yahweh Akah, by Shema Mashak Yahweh Shah. Much love to all the brothers and sisters in Israel. Alright, and Mashak Yahweh Shah. Alright, Shalom to all the saints in Mashak Yahweh Shah. Today's video is going to be dealing with the beard, man, and pretty much going into the law and what it says. So my first verse is going to be Leviticus chapter 19, verse 27. It says, "Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard." Alright, so according to the book of Leviticus, we are not to round the corners of our head, nor mar the corners of our beard. So the question is, what does the word round mean? Alright, I'm going to get it. The word round comes from the Hebrew word naquaf. Okay? Naquaf. It's like it. Alright, naquaf. Alright, naquaf. In the Hebrew. Alright, let's say nakaf. Naquaf. Right, which that word round is to compass, go round about, go about, compassed about, destroy, down, kill, round, and close. Right, it says strike off skin in this verse, but that's not really what it's going into. It's more used to compass when round, right, which is like to circle, go around, and compass and close, complete the circuit, to make round. All right. To make round, man. Alright, it also means to destroy as well. So we're not supposed to round the corners of our head. Okay? So see, the word round is naquaf, which that word means to compass, right? So we're not supposed to compass corners of our head. Okay. Just a second, Israel, waiting for it to load back up. It's taking forever to load. Okay. Where did I say? Where we at? Second. Leviticus 19:27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads. Alright, so that word corner, right, is dealing with the sides. Alright. So in this stance, it's talking about the front and the back. You know what I'm saying? Of your head. You're not supposed to round it. Now, when you go into the Egyptian history, this was an actual Egyptian custom, and this wasn't talking about actually getting like a crispy lineup or a lineup pushed back or nothing like that. But you know what I'm saying, which I wouldn't promote. You know, getting your lineup pushed back. You know what I'm saying? Which that would be making baldness on your head. This Leviticus 19:27, it said, "Ye shall not round the corners of your heads." Right? So that's that word round means to compass. Like you make something go in a circle, which that was actually a custom in Egypt, which they would round their heads, which that would mean they would deform their head and make it elongated. Because this wasn't really talking about rounding your head, ain't talking about really getting a lineup, man. As far as like, you know, a lineup or whatever. Because the ancient Hamites and Egyptians, they used to elongate their heads to try to imitate their God. All right, let's go back to this word. It said, "You shall not round the corners of your head." All right, because when you look at the artifacts in history, that's what the Hamites did. They would elongate their skull, and they had something called head binding, which they would use wood to round their heads to make it elongated. All right. Neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard. Right, and that's talking about cutting off the hair off your cheeks, man. All right, you're not supposed to be trying to imitate the Egyptian god Akhenaten, because that's really what this scripture is going into. Because in ancient Egypt, they were trying to look like the ancient Egyptian guy Akhenaten. I don't know whether you want to call him a god or whatever, but he was a damn demon, and They would try to imitate this guy. All right. See, he has the goatee, and he had an elongated skull. Okay. Elongated. His head was elongated because that's what they used to do. They used to round their heads, man. Okay. This is second Israel. I'm trying to find a picture for the elongated head. All right, see, here it go. That's rounding your head. They will, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to wrap it. They also will wrap it with cloth, which that will have to compass your head to make it deform like that, man. This is actually what these Egyptians literally did. Now, if you ask Israelites to get some, archaeology on Egyptians and Hamites with a fresh lineup, like show me a Hamite with a fresh lineup, man. You know what I'm saying? I never seen that before. All right, but Israelites say that lineups come from the Egyptians, but where's like the artifacts of the Hamites or any Egyptian or any of those Hamitic tribes or whatever, man? With where's the artifacts of them having lineups? Like a lot of brothers always say it, but they never show like the artifacts of it. You know what I'm saying? Which the scriptures do say not to make baldness upon your head, which a lot of people, when they get those lineups, they get their lineup pushed back, which will be making baldness against your head, man. And that's going off, man, if you get your lineup pushed back. All right? Because you got brothers like James Harden, which when he grows, he get it lined up, but he don't dig into his beard. You know what I'm saying? So his beard is not ruined. It's not marred. Because the Hebrew word mar means ruin. But this is what the rounding your head go into, man. All right. Leviticus 19:27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads. All right. So that's what they was doing in ancient Egypt, man. Making their heads, elongating their heads. Now this is from Wikipedia. It says artificial cranial deformation. It said artificial cranial deformation or modification, head flattening or head binding is a form of body alteration in which the skull of a human being is deformed intentionally. So they do this on purpose. It's their custom. It is done by distorting the normal growth of a child's skull by applying force, flat shapes and elongated ones. Right? Produced by binding between two pieces of wood. Rounded ones, right? Rounded ones. Remember it says we're not supposed to round our heads. Leviticus 19:27. Ye shall not round the corners of your head. Right? So they would use that wood to round their heads, man. Let's go back to that in artificial cranial deformation. Just talking about deforming your head, man. Not talking about getting, a lineup. But if you getting if you are getting a lineup, and they're digging into your lineup and pushing it back, that's making baldness upon your head, man. But there are some people that are able to get lineups that not digging into their beard, and they're still lawful for real. You know what I'm saying? Like James Harden. James Harden's beard is not marred, man. Can't nobody tell me different. Okay, this is artificial cranial deformation, man. It said they're produced by binding between two pieces of wood, rounded ones binding in cloth, right? So they would bind it in cloth. Let's get right to try to look like this guy. We're not supposed to be trying to look like him. Let's get elongated skulls. Because I actually got a poster on that as well, if I'm not mistaken. All right, this was what the Africans were doing, man. All right. And a lot of people took on this custom. Even some of the Native Americans and the, I think Colombians were, you have artifacts of people getting elongated skulls in Peru. Yep, in Peru. Okay. Rounding their head, man, making these long ass heads. All right, so here go African girl She rounded her head, man. Israel was commanded not to do that. All right? If I can find this, like Israel. My bad for taking so long. Forgive me. I'm trying to get the picture with the black. It's an African woman, man. When she was see that they doing it right here. See that she's tying. She's binding, rounding the baby's head, man. All right. Oh, here we go. This is what they would do. They would round. They would squeeze all those cloth on the baby's head so it can automatically deform the baby's head, man. This was done as soon as they was born. Let's go back to that. It says head binding. It is done by distorting the natural growth of a child's skull by applying force. Flat shapes, elongated ones, produced by binding between two pieces of wood. Rounded ones, man. All right, so that's rounding your head, binding in cloth. Okay, because the word round means to like circular. All right, to compass, and that's what they do. They compass the back of your head and make it long like a damn alien. All right. It is carried out on an infant, right, as the skull is most pliable at this time. In a typical case, head binding begins approximately a month after birth and continues for about 6 months, man. So that's what they was doing. All right, this is what the Lord was telling us not to do, because this is what the custom of the Hamites, man. All right, them stinking Africans, man. All right, head elongating your skull, head binding. Okay, we ain't supposed to do that. All right, and this was done by rounded ones, man. Rounded ones, right? When they would put the head between two pieces of wood, that's one way to do it, and rounded ones. Or you can just tie the head in cloth, man, which means you're rounding your head, man, to elongate it. All right, even Frieza, on Dragon Ball Z, he had a damn elongated skull. Let's get that if I could. Frieza, Dragon Ball Z, elongated skull. He had an elongated head. Which we're not supposed to be trying to elongate our skulls after the gods of Egypt, man. Because that's what the gods of Egypt was doing. Elongating their skull, man. My bad, Israel. It's on here somewhere. That's it right here, but that's not a good one. Here we go. See that? See, his head is elongated. That's what them Africans was doing in Egypt, man. Rounding their heads to make it longer. Okay? So let's go back to Leviticus 19:27. You shall not round the corners of your heads. Right? Neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard. Now, we're not supposed to mar the corner of our beard. Let's look up this word mar. What does the Hebrew word mar mean? Okay? Because we're not supposed to mar the corner of our beard. All right, Shakath. Right? To destroy, we're not supposed to destroy the corner of our beard, meaning the sides of our beard. All right, corrupt, go, ruin, decay, spoil, corrupted, to be marred, to be spoiled. When you spoil something, that's wasting it. All right, destroy, pervert, spoil, ruin. All right, so we see the Hebrew word is to spoil, ruin, destroy. All right, so we're not supposed to ruin the sides of our beard, man, or destroy them, corrupt them, or ruin, man. All right, so when you dig into a man's beard, when he gets a lineup and you push his beard back or you push his lineup back, man, when people go get those lineups, you're ruining and corrupting and destroying a brother's beard, which would be marring the corners of thy beard. See that? Let's look up the word beard. Okay. Which is the Hebrew word, the quan. Right? Because, elders was known by having beards, man. Okay, zaquan, a beard, as indicating age. Same word used for elder, the beard of a man. It says chin, which this ain't just talking about a man's chin. All right, because if it was, it wouldn't say what I'm about to get right here in the Hebrew, Lord willing. Okay, it's like it. Let me go back to the word corner. Right? Because the word corner gonna prove that we're not supposed to be digging into our beards like a lot of Israelites is doing. That's going to get lineups. That's why I see why the Most High said not to be going. Had brothers saying not to get lineups, man, because a lot of you brothers is getting your lineups pushed back, man. Let's just be honest, man. And they're digging into your beard, which that's making baldness upon your head. And a lot of brothers are going bald from, getting lineups pushed back. I know even me, myself, man. I was, got pretty much a bald spot from, getting lineups, man. And so many times I done got my lineup pushed back, man. And so many struggles, Israel, y'all don't even know, man. All right, from the early days. But it says, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Somebody get this word corner. Okay, which is I think it's pa'ah in the Hebrew, right? Because these Jewish people, they read the scripture and they interpret this that you marring the corner of your beard, that would be cutting off your curly side locks, which that's not what that's talking about. All right, let me get the word mar, the corners, like the corners, right? And they use it's the Hebrew word pa'ah, right? Pa'ah. Right, the word pa'ah, which it says side. 64 times is used for the word side. Right? Let's see what the lexicon say, because the lexicon got some nuggets in there. Yeah, lexicon got some nuggets. This gonna be the Genesis Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. Right, it says extremity beard, the hairs upon the cheeks and before the ears. See that? The hairs upon the cheeks and before the ears. So all this hair, all right, that's before your ears, man. All right, like this brother. This is all his cheek and the hair before his ears. You're not supposed to you're not supposed to ruin it. All right, meaning digging into it, man. All right. Now, some brothers say don't, touch it at all. When I see why they say that, it's because brothers will mess their beard up, man. You will ruin your beard, man. All right, because this is what the Jewish people say. They interpret it. PEYAT, all right, which is the Hebrew word we say pa, but they say PEYAT. Right, which there's no yod in there to get the Y sound, so it's just madness. All right. Also pronounce peo or pio or pios or peos or pios or peos is Ashkenazi pronunciation, man. Just made up madness, man. Is the Hebrew word for the side locks, right? Which it didn't say nothing about locks in this verse. Word for side locks or sideburns, PEYAT, are worn by some men and boys in the Orthodox Jewish community based on an interpretation of the biblical injunction against shaving the corners of one's head. Literally, pia means corner, side, edge, right? There are different styles of PEYAT among Haredi and Yemenite and Charter Jews. Yemenite Jews call their side locks It's madness, man. Which this is foolishness. And that's what they do. They get them damn side locks, man. That's not what Leviticus 19 and 27 is talking about, man. Okay? What does it say? The Torah says, you shall not round off the PEYAT of your head. Leviticus 19:27. To mean the hair in front of the ears extending beneath the cheekbone on a level with the nose. So they just totally twisted this scripture up, man. Alright, talking about some PEYATs. Alright, that ain't what it's talking about. Okay. What it says, the hairs upon the cheeks, right? Because your sideburns ain't just your cheeks, man. Okay, your cheek is all of that, man. Alright? Your jawbone, all that, man. And before the ears, you're not supposed to cut that bald. Alright, like this guy. See that? He's getting his beard digging in too.
What I'm doing now is the same thing I did to the other side. Everything's like an equation. Whatever you do to one side, you do to another.
He's ruining it.
Whatever nose hairs are left over, you actually...
That's the hair. That's the hair. That's the hair on the jawbone. The hair on his cheeks. All that is cheeks, man.
Take away.
And before the ears.
With the little cartilage in between the ear, which...
He just ruined his beard. That's marring it. All right? He's wasting it. See that? We ain't supposed to ruin and waste our beards. The hair is upon the cheeks and before the ears, man. That's the hair upon the cheeks and before the ears, man. This is all the hair upon the cheeks, right? All this and before the ears, man. You ain't supposed to ruin it.
It's a useful guide for, let's say, any standard square sideburn. So
see that? That's going into ancient Egypt,
remove
man.
Any excess hair,
like Pharaoh,
that's left over. And what I'd like to do next is take away the.
See that?
Take away whatever.
He just marred his whole beard off, man.
Off the goatee. If the client wants to,
all right, this is going off according to the scriptures, man. We ain't supposed to dig into our beards, man. All right, and cut off the sides of our beard, man. Let's go to that one verse if I could. Leviticus 19:27. You shall not round the corners of your head, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Leviticus 21:5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard. See that? You're not supposed to shave it off, man. All right, let's see what David said. If I can find David. No. Hey, man, Aaron's beard went down to his garment, man. Grow your beard out, man. All right? Stop cutting it, digging into it, man. All right, let's get the word beards. Well, I get it, man. Well, it's all right. I'm just going to do this. Because we ain't supposed to do this, Israel. I know y'all be trying to look cute for the little thotties,
so what I do next in the video
don't break the law for
no clip on the close position
whore, man.
With my magic clip, and what I like to do is go over it and level it down a little bit, as to the client specification, of course. This client in particular is a good client of mine. He has an important meeting tomorrow.
See that?
And I have
Clip this whole beard off, man.
Other cool things that I have laying around my YouTube
channel.
Don't
mar your beard. Don't corrupt it. Don't ruin it.
What I'm doing now is
the Hebrew word shakath, which means to destroy, ruin. When something is being ruined, is turning into waste. We are not to waste our beards.
Actually take away. See, I measure out with the little cartilage in between.
See that? He's just wasting all of that hair, man.